minute or less. Wow.
Just in general, I am a strong advocate of quality public schools. I think our communities are intrinsically tied. The quality of our communities are intrinsically tied with the quality of our schools. Our kids deserve it, and so do our property values. This is something we absolutely need to invest in. I am very supportive of the local option budget. I would just hate to see the state take those local that local support and start using it as a crutch not to completely fund schools to meet their constitutional obligation in funding those schools. Again, I think schools need to be funded, and that's actually my top priority if elected.
I've been working for the last 5 years to sort of sort out the Johnson County versus Western Kansas divide through the PTA. With our resources, we've identified the need to find shared values with parents across Kansas and work with the legislators representing those parents to solve these problems. It's not easy. It's a very complex set of issues, but I'm prepared to go and continue to fight as an advocate in the legislature.
I'm quite concerned to see the possibility of more property tax put on us as a community, as opposed to going back to a three-legged stool system of taxation. As the governor took down our income tax, the only way to bring more tax money revenue in is to either raise the property tax or the sales tax to adequately fund what we have constitutionally been required. So my point would be to go back and get us in a strong position with that balanced solution, and not look to us as individuals to fund schools through property tax, which Johnson County will certainly take the primary hit for.
I left it on so everybody this time. I'm just, if only we could send all 6 people to go actually fight for our schools. And I don't understand why we have legislators that do not want to fight for our children. And I take that a little personally, as I have a young son that I am hoping to go to a very good school that's right down the street from me, and I don't want to have to wonder if he's going to have as good of an education as I thought he was going to, living in this community.
Well, again, I'm going to agree with Stephanie and Amy that basically echoing everything that everybody else has said. I would really point out that what some of our Republican friends fail to identify is that education is the #1 economic development tool the state has. And when you cut funding for education, you're cutting funding for educational or for economic development. You are hurting our long-term economic policies. We need to fund schools at an appropriate level. We need to sit down and we need to figure out how we're going to do that. Again, whether that's increased with the LOB and the issues that come along with that, whether that's just taking the tax surplus that we had from the past year and using that and applying it, I don't know. But as an advocate, as an attorney, as somebody who's done mediation work, I promise you that I will actually sit down with anybody who is interested in improving education and education formulas and work with them to find an appropriate solution. I don't have a monopoly on good ideas. I don't think the Republicans have a monopoly on good ideas. We just all need to sit down and find out what works. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Again, with the obvious intention, so it's so nice to have so many people with similar passion for supporting education. I would like to add also that one of the concerns that was brought up often to me at the door, and this is worth noting because the 19th district is heavily populated with individuals who are over the age of 65. Dare I say many of them are over the age of 80. And one of their big concerns that they are bringing up to me is they want these good schools. These are where their children and grandchildren attended and are currently attending. And they recognize that these things are intrinsically linked. I think, like Barbara mentioned, I support a balanced tax plan so we don't have a skyrocketing property or sales tax for our seniors on fixed incomes. So it is a very delicate balance that we must strike, but it needs to be worked out and it needs to be negotiated.